All right, what's going on, family? What's going on? It's been a while since I've been live. What's going on, Set Apart Guards family, man? Hey, hey, man, I'm glad to be here with y'all. I ain't gonna be before y'all very long, but I'm gonna wait for a couple of people to come in. I know this was an unplanned, out of the blue kind of thing, but I just had a word, a timely word. So once people start coming in, I get started. And I do want to let y'all know, man, your boy's officially monetized. We just got monetized this week. We just hit the watch time hours because we had 1,000 subscribers, but we just hit the watch time hours, so we are officially monetized on Set Apart Gardens, man. So as y'all come in, man, I just want to talk about the elements in the seasons, man, taking advantage of them. Especially as agriculturalists and homesteaders, farmers, all that good stuff. Nikki Irvin, Marino, Moralio. Am I saying that right? Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a long road, but not really. It's just consistency, and this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Hey, as y'all coming in, man, leave a comment in the chat. Leave a comment in the chat so I know y'all in. I want to talk about the elements. I want to talk about the seasons, using the elements to our advantage. Because I don't know who all live in the South, but as we can see, in Georgia, it's been storming the past couple of days. So, using this to our advantage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait about one more minute and then we'll get started. And I'm gonna start off with a verse of scripture. We're gonna go in Ecclesiastes verse 3, and we're gonna read 1 through 8. And this is just talking about it's a time for everything. It's a time for everything. We got to use everything to our advantage, especially when we're living from the land, especially when we're trying to live off of the land and get back to the land. Shalom, shalom. Jeremiah 29:5. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, y'all. So I'm gonna read Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes 3. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, I probably can't. But it says, there's a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. So it's times for everything. It's times for everything. And just like right now, we going through, a different season, right? When we welcoming in, spring and summer and all this type of stuff, man, but we got to use it to our advantage. And we got to understand the times. We got to discern the times, and we got to use the elements, and we got to use the times to our advantage. So specifically right now, because I just been thinking, man, the last couple of weeks, not even just the last couple of days, but the last couple of weeks, it's been raining, man. I'm just like, especially in our American westernized mindset, we think, oh man, it's raining, it's inconveniencing us and all of this type of stuff, right? And we think that, because we can't, go and do everything we want to do outdoors, or go where we want to go all the time because of the rain and because of whatever the season is. Even when it's too hot, you don't feel like going outside. Use the elements to your advantage. Use the seasons and the times to your advantage, right? Because what we think is an inconvenience could be really our blessing, right? Speaking specifically for me, you know what I'm saying? With the rain and everything, because one thing that I have realized is that every day it's raining, I ain't got to go water my garden. And guess what? My plants are getting nourished, my trees are getting nourished, all of that good stuff. My ground, because I live on a well, so I have well water and everything like that. And so when it rains, that water penetrates into the earth, and that allows for my well to have water. So what we think is an inconvenience is really a blessing, and we have to use it to our advantage. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to talk about, how certain elements like the rain, like the sun, like, you know, the winter time and the cold time all has advantages to them. You see what I'm saying? Because when we when we look at other cultures, especially like people like, you know, in Africa or third world countries, you know, in South America or in Asia or India, right? Those people, when it rains, they rejoice because they know it's a blessing from the Most High. You see what I'm saying? But we look at it as an inconvenience when it's really a blessing. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Just imagine if it didn't rain in the area that you live in. What would happen? There would be lack of water. It'll be a drought. It'll pretty much turn into a desert if it don't rain. So we need rain. You see what I'm saying? But we complain when it does rain. But we have to use it to our advantage, right? All right. So the first point I want to make, you know, as far as the benefits of rain, of course, like I just said, it'll water your garden, but also it'll provide drinking water too as well, you know, for you to harvest. You see what I'm saying? So when it's raining like that, and I know a lot of people who are getting off grid and getting into homesteading, they're starting to collect rainwater. You see what I'm saying? Because it's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? It don't got all of this stuff that, you know, we buy in the bottles of water and stuff like that where they distilling it. It don't got all that stuff in it, right? And it's healthier for your plants as well. But you can literally use that water. You see what I'm saying? You can use that water and collect it and harvest it and collect your own water. Another thing is, like I was just saying, as far as if it don't rain, it's going to be a drought. So rain prevents droughts. It you know, provides a lot for your, you know, especially if you live on a farm, it provides a lot for your soil. You see what I'm saying? It contributes to healthy soil. So you know, when it's a rainy season, or you know, when it's real hot in the summer, or whatever the case may be, let's look at it as a blessing, and let's take it and let's take it to our advantage pretty much, right? The next thing, you know, let's talk about as far as, you know, with, because I know we coming in the summer, it's gonna be hot, especially down here in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? But the sunlight, the heat, you know what I'm saying, that has benefits as well. You see what I'm saying? Because without the sun, life wouldn't go on. You see what I'm saying? Our plants need the sun. Our trees need the sun. We need the sun. You see what I'm saying? We need sunlight. We need that. So I know we might think, man, it's too hot. It's hot out here. But literally, you know what I'm saying? Your skin absorbs the sun, and it's very very healthy. You see what I'm saying? It's very healthy to be out in the sun because you got to think, what are you doing when you're out in the sun? What's going on, G Mama? What's going on? What are you doing when you're out in the sun? You sweat. Like I'm breaking a sweat right now a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that hot in here, but you know, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You sweat, and what does sweating do? It purifies you, it purges you of all of the toxins and things like that that's stored up in your body. You see what I'm saying? Because without that sweating and that purging, that bacteria and those toxins will stay in your body. That's like when I was sick, right? When I had COVID, the first time I had COVID, you know, I made it a point. Dang, it's going blurry. Hold on. The camera going blurry. Let's put some pressure on that like button. Exactly. Support the channel. Appreciate it. But like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? When I was sick with COVID for the first time, right? You know, I made it a point to make sure I got outside because I knew the sun was gonna help me kill that bacteria. Because what happens when you stay in a room all day when you're sick? You're breathing in all that stale air, all that bacteria, all that type of stuff. So when you get out in the sun, it allows for that sun to kill that bacteria. It allows for that sun to start, you know, allowing you to sweat and purge out those toxins from out of your body. See what I'm saying? So that's why we have to take the elements to our advantage. We have to use them to our advantage. You see what I'm saying? Also, the sunlight, you know, the heat, you know, it helps our immune system. And you know, not to make it a racial thing, but especially for us black folks, the sun is very, very healthy for us. You know, the sunlight, the heat, all that type of stuff. It's a reason why, you know, we were living in Africa and we were living in places, you know, like the Middle East and stuff like that, where it gets real, real hot at. You know what I'm saying? Because that helps us, you know, it helps our immune system, it helps us to live longer. That's why you can see, you know, a lot of the slaves, right? You know, they was doing back-breaking works in the field. You see what I'm saying? They was working hard, you know, and doing a lot of work, a lot of long hours, but they lived a long time and they was healthy. You see what I'm saying? They was healthy, even though they was eating, God knows what. They still was in that sun. They was sweating. They was purging those toxins out of their body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all definitely smash that like button. Smash that like button. Right. Also, as black people, like I was just saying, our skin absorbs the sun. It's beneficial for us. It helps us. You see what I'm saying? It helps us. It makes, especially when you out in the sun, you know, your skin is literally absorbing those UV rays and all that type of stuff. So it's important to use the elements to our advantage. That's important. Even with the winter time. You see what I'm saying? With the winter time, guess what happens in the winter? When it's cold and we think, man, everything dying around us, uh, fruit trees dying, those of us who got fruit trees, your vegetables dying and stuff like that, your vegetable plants that's in your garden, that's not really cold hardy crops. They're dying out, like your tomatoes and stuff like that. You're thinking like, man, what benefit is this? But guess what? It's allowing the ground to rest. It's allowing the earth to rest. You see what I'm saying? It's a benefit to it. And also it allows time for you to rest, because when we look at the seasons, what generally tends to happen? Shedding the old, getting ready for the new. Exactly, getting ready for the new. Letting the ground rest and rejuvenate. Then when spring comes, because guess what? After winter, spring comes. And what is spring? Spring is a time for preparation and sowing, right? Summer is a time to maintain and you know what I'm saying? Let literally the elements do their thing. Let the sun shine on your garden and stuff like that, and let it get all that sunlight. And then you got what? The fall after the summer, which is your harvest time, which is when a lot of your crops is coming into harvest. You see what I'm saying? And at the harvest time, then the winter, you can enjoy your harvest. Though it may seem that everything around you is dying, the plants don't got no life and all that type of stuff. It's literally a time for you to enjoy your harvest and let your land rest, and you can also rest. And if you choose not to rest, you can also use that as a time to prepare for the springtime. Greetings, Sonya Dean. Greetings, family. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm seeing some new names in here. I'm seeing some new, man, I ain't been live in a while. But I'm glad to, what I'm saying, be back live. It's just been busy and hectic and stuff like that. But we have to take advantage of the elements, and we have to start looking at them as blessings. You see what I'm saying? Because I know in the era that we live in, with all the technological advances, you can get the water drip irrigation and you can get this and that. But literally, especially back in the days, in a lot of other third world countries, you see what I'm saying? Other third world countries, they would literally rely on the Most High, the Creator, to allow it to rain. You see what I'm saying? They would literally depend on rain, especially when you read in the Bible. When you read Elijah, he shut up the heavens and it wouldn't rain. It wouldn't rain for a certain period of time. You see what I'm saying? That caused the drought in the land. That caused some harsh conditions in the land. Same channel, just a new name. Oh, you changed it. Oh, okay. That's what's up, family. That's what's up. New name. That's what's up. Shalom, family. Good to see you again. Oh, you're talking to G Mama. Yeah, but that's literally what would happen. That's literally what would happen. They would pray for rain. You see what I'm saying? They would pray for these elements. They would pray for, what I'm saying, just nature to do its work, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in modern times we have gotten away from that, because we have all of these different things where you can get your drip irrigation and you got, your waterers and stuff like this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to depend on rain as much, because we get out there, we water our garden every day. We got the drip irrigation and we got all these different fancy techniques and stuff like that we don't really worry about the rain. But it could come a time where we don't have all of this fancy stuff, and we have to, you know what I'm saying, depend on the elements, and we have to depend on how it used to be done. We came to visit you in GA. You see what I'm saying? So let's not get too far away from that. and let's continue to use it to our advantage, and be appreciative of everything. Because I'm gonna tell you something, and this is kind of a little, off the topic of the elements, but a lot of times what we think are inconveniences are really blessings for us. And the older that I get, the more that I understand that. I used to, you when you're young, you rushing everything. You rushing everything. You know what I'm saying? You going to this place or that place. You want to hurry up and get there. Who all there? You want to hurry up and get there. And if you get inconvenienced by the slightest of things, you get so mad and so annoyed. But what you don't realize, that could have saved your life. If you had left the house 5 minutes earlier when you planned to, then there would have been a car accident waiting to happen, or there would have been, some tragic event that could have happened, or whatever the case may be. Like now, I'm at the point to where, even when I'm running late for work, I get there when I get there. You see what I'm saying? I'm not speeding. I'm not trying to hurry up and rush. No, I'm understanding, like, okay, it might be an inconvenience, but it might be a blessing as well. It might be the Most High trying to tell me or slow me down, because there could be something that I don't want that's waiting. You see what I'm saying? So you have to view things in that way, and get out of the, a lot of the hustle and bustle that we've learned. You know what I'm saying, through the Western mindset that we live in, pretty much. That's all I'm trying to say. Inconveniences can be blessings. Inconveniences can be blessings. That party. Man. What's so crazy? I remember when I was young, right? Growing up, I used to go to the club, right? I started going to the club at like 14. That's normal from where I'm from. We used to go party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from Florida, so we would have a team parties and team clubs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was clubbing at 14, 15, 16, all that type of stuff. And I remember it was one time, I was gonna go to this party, with a couple of, homeboys, a couple of friends, and I couldn't make it. For some reason, I was inconvenienced. You see what I'm saying? I was inconvenienced. And so happened that, that same night, the people who I was gonna be going with, they end up, doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing, and one of the guys I know got killed. You see what I'm saying? And so I could have been in that same car with them doing the same thing, and instead it could have been me. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean by, your inconveniences can be blessings, because I'm mad I can't go to the party. My mama probably told me I couldn't go or something like that, and I was mad, or it could have been something else. I forget what exactly it was. But long story short, I couldn't go. I was inconvenienced. You see what I'm saying? But that inconvenience was a blessing. We have to start. We have to start. Counting our blessings more, and being thankful more for the things that we may see as, aggravating or annoying or inconveniencing or whatever the case may be, because those things is literally, blessings in disguise. And like they always say, what's the saying? Don't rain on my parade. You see what I'm saying? Like we view it in a negative manner. You know what I'm saying? When it's raining, what we saying? Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. We don't want it to rain, but guess what? If it didn't rain, you would be praying for rain. You see what I'm saying? If the sun didn't shine, you would be praying for the sun, because we wouldn't be able to live without it. We just what's the word? We take for granted. We take for granted a lot of things. We take for granted a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? And we have to stop taking advantage of things and actually start appreciating everything we have in life. Like, literally, every breath that you take is a blessing. Literally. Because it can be gone just like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, your heart can stop beating at any moment. You never know when. You see what I'm saying? Like, literally everything about life is a blessing. It could be tomorrow you could wake up and not have a job. You know what I'm saying? Not have a means of income. Like, tomorrow we could wake up and, war and calamity could be, striking, and you just never know what can happen. But we take for granted, the blessed state that we live in. We take it for granted, and we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. And we got to start looking at the small things that we view, and they're not small, but we view them as small. We view it as a given. Like, how many times you say, okay, I see you tomorrow. Even Christ say, don't say that, because that's arrogant. You don't got the power to wake yourself up tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? It's God willing. The Most High willing I'll see you tomorrow. See, even little small things like that, we just assume that we're going to wake up in the morning. We just assume that, everything is going to be on. We just assume these things, and we take for granted the small things or the everyday things, the common things. You know what I'm saying? So, whether it's a real rainy season, it's thunderstorms and all that type of stuff, thank the Most High for it. Because if you didn't have it, you will be praying for it, and you'll be worried, and you'll be in a lot of trouble. You see what I'm saying? On that day when it's hot outside and you working and you sweating, because boy, I'm gonna tell you something, especially if you live in the South, there's gonna be a lot of days like that. And those days when you're doing that work, when you outside, because living on a farm or a homestead, or even if you got a backyard garden or whatever, it's gonna be work, and you're gonna be out there in the heat. You're gonna be out there, actually doing stuff. On those days when you outside and sweat just rolling down and you hot and whatever the case may be, thank the Most High for that in that moment. Thank him for that. Because if you didn't have those, if you didn't have that sun and that heat, if you didn't have these circumstances, then your food wouldn't grow. You see what I'm saying? Also, you wouldn't be receiving the health benefits that come from being outside and sweating. Because not only are you sweating and purging those toxins, but you're also burning calories. You see what I'm saying? So you staying in some sort of shape. You're staying in good health. Your immune system is being blessed by it. And stuff like that. That's why that's why people used to have such long lifespans. We didn't have all this modern stuff where we just laying on the couch all day under the AC watching TV. They didn't have that back in those days. You see what I'm saying? Where you could just or you were up playing the game all day. No, they didn't have that. Those people was cleaning, they was cooking, they was outside, tilling the ground, they was outside tending to something, they was doing something. Like my granddaddy, bro. My granddaddy right now, I want to say my granddaddy probably like 76. He like 76 or something like that. But my granddaddy, guess what? He still work. My granddaddy been a mechanic all his life. He still get out and work on cars. He still get up every morning at the same time, and he go out and he got his same routine. He be outside all day working on cars in the sun, all of that at 70 in his late 70s, and get around good. You see what I'm saying? And get around good. But I know people who, died in their 40s and 50s and 30s from health ailments and stuff like that. From health conditions that got to deal with obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of those type of things. You see what I'm saying? But my granddad in his 70s and been smoking for I don't know how long, smoked cigarettes every day. He always got a cigarette in his mouth. But guess what? He outside all day working, and he in good health. Excuse me. And he in good health. You know what I'm saying? But that's how a lot of our people were back in those days. Even though they might have smoked or they might have drunk every day or they might have ate pork all the time. I know a lot of us don't eat pork, being Hebrews, but a lot of our ancestors did. But guess what? They even still outlived a lot of, us who are living today, dying in their 90s and 100s. My great grandma, she lived like 97, 96. But guess what? Up until her dying day, almost, up until probably like a month or so before she died, she was mobile. She was getting around. She was doing stuff. She was sweeping. She was cooking. She was cleaning. She was doing something. She was being mobile. She was outside sitting on the porch. That's something a lot of our people do all the time. They'll sit outside on that porch. You see what I'm saying? They'll sit up under that tree. They'll be breathing fresh air in all day. They'll be taking advantage of the elements, taking advantage of nature. You see what I'm saying? Out of that, touching dirt every day. Something as small as that. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Being able, because you got a lot of people who can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know how many brothers in jail who wish they could just go outside and just grab some dirt. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people you got in hospitals who just wish they can get outside and grab a handful of dirt, just something as small as that, and it don't got to just be that, but I'm just saying, like the fact of a lot of people can't get out and do some of the things that we can do being able-bodied, and having our freedom, that we can get outside and enjoy the things in the elements. You see what I'm saying? A lot of those things, man, is healthy. Like growing up, we used to, go outside and you'll pick some blackberries off the blackberry bush, you'll pick some pecans off, and that's natural food, healthy. You see what I'm saying? Natural food. You pick some figs off or whatever the case may be, some dates off the tree, straight off the tree. That's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Just growing naturally. you know. But let's like we gotta. And when I'm saying we, I'm really talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? I just be venting to y'all just stuff that be in my mind. I just be venting to y'all, but really like I be talking to myself because you got to deprogram yourself. It's a journey, especially like when you used to living in this system that we've been living in, that we've been reared in and brought up in. When we're so used to this system of things, you got to deprogram a lot of stuff, because this system, it causes us to overlook all of the quote unquote small things, which is really like your everyday blessings. We overlook those, and we are oftentimes lusting after the bigger things that we think is going to fulfill us, when really it's the everyday things that's supposed to fulfill you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you oh man, I wish I can go to Dubai, or I wish I can have this Mercedes, or I wish I can, but literally all your limbs work, you ain't on no medication, you got a roof over your head, you got a plot of land, or even if you don't got a plot of land, you got a a steady income that you bringing in, you got a car that you can drive every day, you got loving family, loving kids, loving wife or husband or whatever the case may be. Your eyes can see good. You know what I'm saying? You ain't sick. You ain't in the hospital. You ain't just the everyday things that, and you got food in your refrigerator, all that type of stuff, man. You got breath in your body. You got breath in your lungs. All of that stuff. So what the Wi-Fi don't work right now? So what the TV got a crack in it? You know what I'm saying? Like just stuff like that. So what? You living paycheck to paycheck. You living. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people who live in different countries and live in different areas that just wish they have a fraction of what you got, but they still fulfilled in what they got. You got people who live primitively. You know what I'm saying? Who still hunt and gather, and literally they go and kill every meal that they eat, and they don't have the stresses that we have. You would think that would be a stressful life because they don't know what they're gonna eat tomorrow. But really, they're looking at you like you got all of that, but yet you still depressed. They ain't depressed. Some people live in villages. They live in huts sometimes. They ain't got no AC. They ain't got none of that type of stuff. They got to get out and really work for their food and work for their survival. Yet they're still more joyous than we are in the West, who have literally, I mean, I'm in a spare bedroom right now that's in my house that, I got a lot of stuff in that I don't even use every day. I got books that I ain't even read yet. I got food in the refrigerator. New stuff I want to try. You see what I'm saying? But yet, I got the nerve to get depressed. When it's somebody that's, ain't got none of this stuff, ain't got a space of their own, ain't got a bed to sleep in, they sleep on the floor. Yet they can find a way to thank the creator, to thank the most high and really give him praise, in a way that's so sincere, and yet, I'm over here with all this stuff and it's still not fulfilling. Because these things don't fulfill. That's the trick. That's the trick bag that we've been taught, that these things that things are supposed to fulfill us. That's how we've been tricked to think that things are supposed to fulfill us, not realizing the things will come and go. That's why Yeshua said, "Don't store your treasures up on earth." Well, It can be stolen where it can rust and all of this type of stuff. Store your treasures up in heaven where it can't be destroyed, where no man can take it or steal it from you. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get out of this notion and get out of this programming. G Mama say, right, be grateful for what you have. Exactly. We got to get out of this programming. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. What provides me so much fulfillment is being able to work in the garden, being able to be outside, being able to be a pastoralist, to be a husbandman, to do husbandry. You know what I'm saying? To go collect eggs out of the chicken coop, to sit on the porch in a rocking chair and just look at the landscape and just look at the creation that the Most High created. Those are the things that are fulfilling. Those are the things that are fulfilling. You see what I'm saying? Not, I'm about to go on this trip. I'm about to buy this. That's why you see that majority of the people in the entertainment industry are miserable. Like it's like they get half the attention and the clout because they got to keep rolling in. And when it stop rolling in, they want to kill themselves and they depressed. And now they want to self-sabotage themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because the thing that was fulfilling them and giving them a temporary high wasn't sustainable. And they look past all of their everyday blessings and continue to have an appetite for more and more and more. But it's only so much you can get from out of the world and from people. There's only so much you can get before you start realizing, like, man, like you got, I'm gonna tell you something. You got brothers and sisters who literally got $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on their neck in chains, on their body in jewelry. You see what I'm saying? Like they got houses on their neck. Like they brag about it all the time. I got how I got a house on my neck. I got this and that. But yet they still not fulfilled with it because they gotta go get more and more. And then they gotta they like it's like, dude, like what you spend on, things that are gonna depreciate anyways. You know what I'm saying? These diamonds ain't even really real no more. They factory made diamonds. You see what I'm saying? These things gonna depreciate after you buy it and put it on. You could have used that to provide a way for the people who look like you, who don't have as much and who literally in a worse off position. You could have used that to help them, which would have been fulfilling to you and to them, because it's always better to give than to receive. You see what I'm saying? Doing something for somebody that they can't do for themselves, that's more fulfilling than anything, for real. But yet, you know what I'm saying? You go and waste frivolously all this, and what we say, oh, I don't owe nobody nothing. Wow. But when you go to and look at other ethnic groups of people and nations of people, they owe their people everything. That's the mindset that they have. You see what I'm saying? Because that's why they'll literally give their last to their brother or their sister or their mama or whoever. They'll make sure they straight. They'll make sure they good. We the only people. We the only ethnic group of people who feel like we don't owe nobody nothing, and we'll go and buy $1 million worth of jewelry, knowing that we come from a neighborhood where we all living in poverty and messed up. Knowing you could take that $1 million and invest it into your people, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. It's going to come back in ways you would have never thought it would come back. But I just said all that to say, a lot of times, man, we just been programmed to want more. Hello at Sutter Parker. Hey, contained in my garden. What's going on, Shalom family? We've been conditioned to want more and more and more. That's not fulfilling to us, and we've learned to overlook the true things that fulfill us in life. And we've learned to look at our true blessings as inconveniences instead of using them to our advantage. Instead of thanking the Creator for every drop of rain, for every ray of sunlight, for everything, literally for every breath of life that we have. You know what I'm saying? So, that's really what I want to get on here and talk about. That's really what I want to get on here and talk about. I just was thinking about that, and I was just like, you know what, man, we gotta deprogram ourselves. We got to, because our mentality is messed up a lot of the times. Now, I'm not talking about you guys and nothing like that, but I'm just saying in general, in this Western hemisphere, in this Western way of thinking, it has really done something to our minds to the point that we think the things that are blessing us are inconveniencing us somehow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got, y'all. I know it's late. I know it's a weekday. I know a lot of y'all got to get up for work in the morning, like myself. I know Juneteenth is coming up this weekend. Happy early Juneteenth to everybody. If you celebrate it, you know what I'm saying? I celebrate it, but happy early Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? I might go live again Friday. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? And just give y'all some good content. But hey, we got a lot of good content coming out, man. We got a lot of stuff coming out. I want to do something on I'm not want to, but I am. I'm going to do really something on pastoralism because I want to get deep into that because that's what a lot of our ancestors did. They were pastoralist people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get into that, and really break it down. Because if you own any type of livestock, goats, sheep, cows, whatever, you are a pastoralist to some degree. And I want to get into that, just really get into a lot of things, the history of things and stuff like that. But we'll get into all that later, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Everybody who done tuned in and everybody who done added some value to the live stream. I want to shout out a couple people before I go. G Mama Grows, as always, shout out to you. I appreciate you, G Mama. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you encouraging everybody to hit that like button. Y'all hit this like. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really, just show love to the content like y'all always been doing. So I appreciate that. G Mama Grows, containing my garden. Shout out to you. Who else on here? Son Udine, shout out. Jeremiah, shout out to you. And Nikki Irving, shout out to you. So I appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all night. I ain't mean to interrupt y'all night, but I just had to get it out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk later, man. And like I always like to say, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Take your power back. Take your power back. And with that, I want to say shalom.